Hey guys, I put on some sunglasses because I feel like my face looks awful right now. I'm still like a little bit hangover from yesterday, but oh well. So I'm about to start to paint this giant canvas that I bought the other day. I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. Alright, catch you in a bit. Well, plot twist. I didn't end up using that canvas. I was a little bit too scared at first to use such big support at the beginning. So anyway, I'm going to be painting Emilia Clarke, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains. I forgot what else she was. But yeah, I've been saving this photograph for a long time in my reference photos. It's like a little folder that I have on the side, and I just think it was very, very powerful. So I decided to give it a go and start doing in a very large scale that I don't usually do. In this video I'm going to get a little bit more technical about what I use in materials because you guys are always asking for that. So before starting into that, I'm going to say a huge shout out to my sponsor today. Yay, I'm so happy I have one. It's Skillshare. So if you don't know what Skillshare is, it's basically an online learning community with like a bunch of classes that you can choose from. For example, I'm choosing fine arts, as you can see here, and there's a lot of different videos to choose from. There's drawing, there's oil painting, there's watercolor. The one that I liked the most was this one by Jia Sung, which is a painter and illustrator, and the way she approaches a self-portrait is really, really interesting. It reminds me of how they did it, or they taught us in fine arts school. So I think that's really, really amazing. And this is also like a animation because I want to try to learn to animate, and also After Effects. I think that's something that I really, really want to achieve with, so I can do a little things in my videos, especially my cosplay videos. But yeah, so Skillshare, they gave me a link. I'm going to put it in my description box because you have a 2-month free trial. You can sign up for free and then try it out, see how it goes. I think it's really cool. Also, an annual subscription is less than $10 a month. So that is really, really cheap compared with some workshops that I know they're very expensive. I've done a couple and there's just a lot of money. So I think this is like a really good opportunity to start learning something that you want, but you maybe don't know how or where. So moving on to the painting, as I said, I'm going to try to explain what I'm doing, although it's very hard because sometimes I'm more driven by my intuition than a technical skill. But for example, right now what I'm doing is I'm using some burnt sienna oil painting. The brand that I use is Gamblin. Gamblin is a really amazing brand. They are based in Portland, and the quality of the oils is just so good. It's so good. But I started painting with like very, very cheap oils, that little kit that maybe your uncle or your aunt or your mom gives you for Christmas. So yeah, don't worry if you don't have the perfect materials. You will eventually build your own kit and the things that you need. So I started with this layer because I feel like the white of the canvas is very it's very, how to say this? I feel like with the burnt sienna, it established some values, so it's not as white. So it also helps me with my underpainting and the shadows that are going to peek through eventually. You will see in a little bit how this base coat or how this underpainting is going to help me in the future. If I'm being honest, I know I say this a lot, but it's just the truth. I was going to give up like now and then in the next 10 minutes, and I actually put it on a side. I waited for like a couple of days, and then I picked it up again. So that's how it goes. Not everything is like as smooth as it seems. Anyway, so here I'm using this Trekell, I think that's how you say it, Trekell brushes, and again, they're very, very nice quality. They're just so soft, and especially this one that is like flat. I love the ones that are flat. I feel like you can get really cool shapes and in a very clean way, because I have some other cheap brushes, but you can tell they don't pick up the oil as good as this one. But anyway, I'm gonna have all my materials this time in the description box. I usually don't put them, but this time I will. And yeah, so here for example, I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I know that I'm just what I'm doing is I'm trying to look at the reference photo and making my eyes a little bit blurry so I get the general shapes. I'm not going to get into details until later on. And yeah, the one thing that I struggle with a lot is the shadows. I feel like I've talked about this in a previous video or something, but I feel like I don't really know what color are the shadows sometimes, and I feel like you can make the shadows any color. You can make them blue or green or orange or red. It's a matter of preference, but that's how I struggle, and I've tried to use a different palette, like more into the blues and the purples, but I just can't. I just can't. I'm always driven by these warm tones. It just feels good to me. It feels right, and I know that it's also very nice to change every once in a while, and I've tried to change my palette, but I just don't know how to do it. Seriously, that's it. There's no mystery to it. Anyway, so now that I have like some basic tones established, although I was pretty lost here, to be honest. That blue, it was like killing me. I'm like, why do I have blue on top of those? Anyway, I'm going to add some of the dark tones, for example, in the mouth area and in the eye. And something that I always like to do, that I feel like a lot of you have noticed, is I just don't like finishing everything, especially this is such a big portrait that the main thing is the features in the face. So I didn't want to do the right eye, or her left eye in this case, because I felt like it was way more powerful if I left it like undone. So you will see at the end how it's gonna look. But yeah, I'm just this is throughout like probably 3 days again of like leaving this on the side, picking it up again, staring at it for a long time, looking at other artists that inspire me, like Jenny Savy. I hope I'm saying this correct. We studied her in college, so yeah, I was introduced to her work at a earlier age, and she is amazing. And oh my goodness, I'll put some images on the screen so you guys can see. And I was very inspired by her, as you can see in the eyes and the brush strokes. And this is not really how I usually do it, so I thought it was really cool to look up other artists' work. It's always very, very inspiring. So this is just me looking at it, seeing what's not working, what do I need to change. For example, in my case, it was the regard, which is also the main focus. If you look at the picture of reference, you know, that's all of the weight is in her eyes and in her mouth. I feel like when you're about to cry, your mouth gets really puffy, and I believe this photo was taken, or at least that's what the title was, when something like her father didn't believe in her, or something that she should be a waitress, you know, instead of an actress. So it's kind of like a feeling of not following your dreams, or feeling stuck, or feeling that you're basically not enough to pursue your dreams. That's what this meant to me. And I also have like really bad anxiety sometimes with like my work and myself, and I feel like this was also a way to just, you know, make it into something, you know, get all these feelings inside me and just put them here and just let it go. And that is also like very nice. That and going to therapy, that is really good. So yeah, this is like a mixture of just self-doubt and I don't know, honestly, that's like up to you. I think this is my mom called, so sorry for the phone. But yeah, I'm just going and adding more layers. I didn't want to overdo it, you know. It's also very important to understand when a painting is finished and when to keep going. Sometimes we end up screwing it because we add too much instead of too little. And it's also very important to take a break and to look at your work. It is very, very important. Observation is a huge part of the process as well. But yeah, and yeah, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what I'm doing here. I just think I think I'm adding a little bit of more texture, especially on the right side. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. I know this was very different. I love to paint like beautiful ladies with roses, like I love that. But sometimes your body and your brain is asking for something else. That's why in my last video I tried something else, that it was Elio, and it was like a guy, a boy, not a woman. Yeah, it's, even if your work doesn't end up the way you want to, there's always a lesson to learn, and I think that's very important to understand. Don't get frustrated, but I mean, hey, I get frustrated all the time. But just so you know that you're not alone, that I feel like every artist, even the ones that you admire the most, get frustrated with their work, and I'm pretty sure they've, you know, wanting to give up a lot of times. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this. You know, this really helped me a lot to live in LA and basically making it every month. So that means a lot. I'll see you guys very soon, and sending you hugs. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Bye.